Welcome to the CG Pro Show, episode 5, Halloween special. This is Ed Dawson Taylor, and I'm going to bring on Andy Cochran,
Happy
co-host.
Halloween!
Happy Halloween, everybody. We hope you enjoy the show. This one is packed full, so get ready. We're going to try and get through at least half of the things that we want to show today. And if you enjoy it, follow us, join our newsletter at becomecgpro.com. You'll find out about these events that we do, about the podcast, the show, and that's the best way to find out about more of this. Today, we have a very special guest who I'm going to bring on right now, and it
Hello.
is
The Wizard.
the Wizard. Welcome, Wizard.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
The Wizard's real name, or during the week name, is Corey Williams, as you can see at the bottom there. Corey is an OG YouTuber, helped YouTube get started and move across from Newgrounds, and is just one of the best people I could imagine to bring in to talk about independent creation and everything that means. So yeah, thanks for joining us, Corey. Great to have you.
Thanks for having me, man. I feel like what I'm wearing here is so appropriate because it's like I've been through the gamut and I feel old, but like I've made so many mistakes through the process. And I remember a long time ago, my aunt's fridge, there was a saying. It says, "To become old and wise, you must first be young and stupid." At this point, I've made so many mistakes. I'm a wizard. So I'm just wearing what I feel. That's it.
I like that a lot.
I mean, not that I'm any smarter. I'm just dumb and older.
Grayer.
Yeah.
Different mistakes.
Yeah, it's
Different
just
stuff.
scarred up and grade.
Well, looking forward to digging into some of that wisdom, Mr. Wizard. And today we have, as I said, a lot of things to cover. I'm just looking at my show notes here. But yeah, we hope you enjoy the show, folks. We'd love to hear what you think about it. We're on episode 5. We're intending on doing this for a long time. So just let us know what you like, what you don't, and we'll attempt to make it more of what you like if we can. We'd like to kick this off with our crazy corner. Cue the music.
Ooh, spooky. Oh, Corey doesn't know. We don't pay for music, so I do all the music. Ooh,
We should pay for music.
spooky, Crazy
Wow.
corner. Ooh, do.
That indie budget, man. That indie budget.
Yeah, you gotta love it.
We could use AI. But then I'm out of a job. So
We're looking for budget. Anyone has budget out there, please send it
Wow.
to us. So this week,
What the heck is that? That is awesome. I want one. Where do I invest?
here on their website, I'm sure you can find them. 18wheels.com. What is it? What is the web address? I can find you the web address and everything.
what is
18wheels.fi. Interesting.
Like what in
Anyway.
the centipede? Like who is like, these traditional okay, really? We're gonna use this for like old people. This just makes no sense. What? This is a joke. Tell me this is AI created.
No, this is a
See,
real
look,
website.
that's right there. That's how you do it.
That's what you're
you rock
supposed
it
to
with
do.
4 wheels, yeah. And it's supposed to be hard. That's just
I am-
boring.
I'm really struggling with this one only because the wheels are so tiny. Like if it was 18
Yeah.
big wheels, I'd be like, yeah, okay. I mean, do you need 18? But okay.
I can't
18.
imagine how that must feel. Like you're like, oh man, the transmission's out. Oh, for which one? Or like
20.
something about the drive is messed up just on this one wheel. The repair on that has got to be astronomical.
There's a
I mean,
big-
it's literally
it's a
18,
new- it's our new
18
job
points
with-
of failure.
If you get
If
ran
AI is
over by
putting us out
that
of a
thing,
job.
how do you feel?
Probably
Is
fine.
it a massage or do you get tangled in it? Like what?
Exactly. You probably feel great. You're just like, hang on, I just want to turn over so you can run me over on my back.
Oh my God.
It is, and each wheel has a motor, so they're all like independent, obviously, because
You know what?
There's
That
just a
turn radius.
spring above
That
it.
turn radius is horrendous. I would
turn
totally
circle.
expect something like that to have a much better turn radius.
Okay, so
yeah, you can see it at the top right there.
This has inspired me for later in the show when we have another crazy corner. I've got something to share as well on this that I just pulled up in the background. So this is inspirational.
I don't know what the use cases. Fun and recreation. I think that's about it, right? I mean,
Weird.
are there
What else
more?
you got?
But they
What
do
else you
talk
got?
about solving climate change on there as well, which is nice.
With all that plastic and rubber. Come on, how much rubber are you spending?
What part of that is saving the environment?
Come
Oh,
on, Andy.
God.
Clearly, this is
Carbon
the solution.
removal.
They have 14 more wheels and motors.
Just
so they
because
have
it's electric, though.
Oh, so good. All right.
Well, that's mine. There you go.
There we go. All right. Well, I've got one for later. So let's
Okay.
dive in. Yeah.
You want to keep on rolling then? All right.
Let's keep on rolling. Let's
keep going.
Let's 18 wheel it into
18 wheeling it into our next section, which is our rapid fire interview with our special guest, the Unreal Wizard.
Let's do
it.
Corey, name and occupation.
Plumber.
Love it. Just for both plumber and plumber. Just give his name
It
and
can't be.
occupation.
Hey, I can't replace a plumber. I like it. Okay.
No, it's I'm thinking about that a lot at the moment. Tell us what you love to do.
Play with kids. I play with my kids and the kids at our school. That's my favorite thing.
That's awesome.
What
That's really
is one thing that's not on your LinkedIn that you think's cool about you?
How much I really love Portal. Like I am probably the #1 Portal fan. I would even say the #1 Valve fan in the world. I have just about everything Valve has ever sold. Both my kids are named after Valve games. My wife has 2 different color eyes. Portal. That was just by accident. And I have an entire room in my house that is Portal themed. And yeah, no, I'm just both my vehicles are named after Portal and have Portal theme everything. It's yeah. I love Portal. I love Valve.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Have you played Half-Life in VR? I'm wondering when
Alex. Yes. And someone was saying recently that that Valve was thinking about making a 3rd game, and I'm like, no. This is a thing that's been said forever. If that's the case, I have 2 kids. I am not going to get a reverse vasectomy. I don't count to 3 because neither does Valve. Yes,
that's perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect.
True. I feel like you need to send that to Gabe and just be like, look, here's the deal. Cancel it. If you're working on it, cancel it. Because I'm just not. I can't.
I think Valve is probably the only company with if they were to reach out and say, Corey, we'd like you to work for us. I'd be like, okay, I'll pack my things. Like I wouldn't even question it. Like, and of all the things that I do, like the stories that I tell, and how well I know Unreal Engine, if they asked me to work there, dude, in a heartbeat. And I don't even really like Washington very much. Dude, I need sun,
Yeah, totally.
Valve, if you're listening, pay attention, take action.
Corey's
now's your
available.
chance. What is your favorite guilty pleasure movie that you have watched 1,000 times?
Idiocracy.
Oh, yeah.
I watch I watch that movie so much, and now that it's like an HD or whatever they have, it's like looking for all the little things I never saw before is just so much fun, and just I love everything Mike Judge does, but man, that movie is yes, I've seen it 1 billion times.
That's amazing.
That's a great answer. Have you watched it more or less since it became reality?
When my kids started wearing Crocs, man, I was like, come on, but no, it is a little scary how things kind of play out, but that's how social commentary is, like totally. You're right in some things, you're wrong in other things. And, I'm still waiting on that. Your floors are now clean. I wish my Roomba just did that, like smash into that wall. That's one of my favorite scenes.
I have had over the last couple of years, so many instances where I've been like plugging in a bunch of cables into stuff. And just in my head, just this one goes in your mouth. And wait, no, this one goes in your mouth, and this one goes in your butt. just constantly.
That's all so good. Yeah, lately one of my guilty habits that I've been doing. There's a song that my kids and I are just obsessed with, and it's by this guy. I can't say his name quite right, but I'm going to share. I can't share the song because copyright stuff. But he does this song called "Dance Monkey." It's like the dance monkey by Vindaloo Singh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. My kids and I, we just can't get enough of that. Anyway,
That's your
One
favorite
silly
guilty pleasure short or whatever.
short like a video.
Yeah.
The three dudes in the truck and they're riding and they're like, and the one guy brings up a bottle and he goes, shampoo. Have you seen that one?
No.
No.
Dude, it's
Now
so
I-
good.
All right.
Now
like
I'm
it's
now
like
I'm
gonna
gonna
find
hunt
it.
it down.
it's like Dumb and Dumber. It's like I want to be one of those guys, and they just look like they're having the best time, and they're like you can tell they're coming out of this idiocracy sort of world, but at the same time they're just living good, you know. And I love it so much, and so it's like it's funny and it's random, and I just feel it. That's my favorite.
Oh, that's so good.
Send us a link and we'll share it with the, with the community
Toss
as well.
a link when you can, and we'll share it.
All right. Well, let's 18 wheel into our next section, which I think we'll get further into the first question of the last section. So, cue the music.
Bum, ba-dum,
Come on.
bum, ba-dum, the highlight segment.
The highlight
Spooky.
segment for the week is the same as it was last week or 2 weeks ago when we did the last show. We are talking about democratized Hollywood or independent creation. This is part 2 of that subject. And Corey, you basically spent your whole career doing that. You were a pioneer of doing that. So yeah, in the last show, we talked about what democratized Hollywood means. What does it mean to you?
For me, it's just the power to be able to tell stories without gatekeepers telling you how far they can go. I mean, that's it. That's all it's always been. Because early on, in my YouTube career, before YouTube, I was making videos and I was actually selling VHS tapes at like head shops, and it was just my crazy stories, before the internet was really going. And I wanted to do more, but I tried to get into Hollywood for just a minute, and I was cast on this show. It was called I don't know, it was like a male stripper show, American Guys or something. I don't remember. Strip Search, something like that. It was on VH1, and they were like, "Okay, Corey, you're really great. We like you a lot, but you're too funny and you're just too odd for this." And like, I was like, "Okay, I don't really know what I'm doing here anyway. I just wanted to get my foot in the door, and this is how I hear you do it." So I was like, I got out of that show, and I'm glad I did, because I'd be weirdly touring around doing things I wouldn't want to do. But I've just been a yes man, and that was like my only way. But yeah, I like the democratization, because it's like it just allows everyone to tell a story and to be heard in a different way. And with me and ADHD, I'm like, I have a hard time following, and so I just lead. I lead myself into wherever I feel I choose I need to go. So
I can't believe you're on YouTube when it was on VHS. That's amazing.
Circa 2005. It was even before. Well, Newgrounds is where I started really online, but I was just like using my 8mm camcorder and then burning videos back and forth through my VHS player. And like I was saying a little while ago, but one of my first videos, short films that I did, was actually with oh my gosh, my brain is letting go of his name, the creator of Rick and Morty.
Justin Roiland.
Justin Roiland, yeah. So like one of my first shorts was actually with Justin Roiland back when we were in junior college, because I was there for like a minute and then I dropped out because I couldn't afford it. But yeah, but that's what we did, man.
Did you do Channel 101 back in the early days, or
no? I didn't have access to be able to do that stuff. I didn't even have a computer, so it wasn't.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I was poor. I mean, I came from poor, so I didn't have that stuff.
I think that's like what you were just talking about, your favorite short. Like that's one of my favorite things about what's happening right now is the people talk about, sort of like minority voices, and that generally tends to be referred to in more of a kind of like DEI sense. And it's a minority. Hollywood is a very closed, nepotistic, environment, and that a lot of folks that are successful, it's like, well, their uncle is so and so, their dad was so and so, their mom was so and so. They had some kind of exposure, to the industry, some kind of like cracked open door that either gave them arcane knowledge that was gate kept or access or something. And one of my favorite things on the internet right now, TikTok primarily, but TikTok, Instagram, etc., and Reels, there is a new type of female comedy that I've been seeing, which is surreal, absurdist. It is like comedy for women has really been kind of forced in, especially stand-up has really been forced into tomboy, sexy, like you have to be sexy and you have to kind of talk about sex and you have to be, you have to sort of almost do comedy on men's terms. And I've really loved watching this just absolutely absurd, hilarious comedy starting to evolve. And it's not that it was never there. It was that it was gate kept, out of the sort of public square. And it's that, and multiply that across every type of, sort of diverse voice. And it's folks that come from, backgrounds that are outside the mainstream, and it can be anything. And it's just, to me, that's what's happening, right? The bulldozers have been knocking down the walls, tools are getting cheaper, access, distribution, knowledge, YouTube tutorials, etc. And that's to me been the real like special magic that's starting to evolve, is these voices that just would never ever had any kind of distribution are now like starting to kind of pop up. Yeah, not just even getting out there, like really blowing up, where people really starting to love people for the right reasons. Like I think we like poor Chocolate Rain, Tay Zonday, like we liked him for the wrong reason, right? We liked him because his voice was really weird, and we being the general society. But now it's folks that have these like really odd ideas that are, and odd being just not mainstream Hollywood. So that to me is like the exciting stuff.
Yeah, but Adam Tay Zonday, a good one of my besties. It's interesting because I do believe you're right that it started like that, where it was just like, oh, this weird guy, Chocolate Rain, but over time people continued to watch him, and I think because it's been democratized, you can see, okay, here's a silly guy, but now you get to learn more about him and why he is the way that he is and how much he cares about the thing. And then you find out he's one of those kindest, most loving souls, and that is something beautiful, is it provides multi-dimensional views of people instead of just being, you're just this thing. Some people, they corner themselves into that. That's because that's what media has taught them to do for so many years. Whereas creators like me, and I don't know if Adam does it very much, but like me, I'm an open book. What do you want to know? I go to therapy. I've had dark moments. I've been on top of the world. I've had moments that people wouldn't believe are real, but I'm open to share that because I can. I'm just doing it because I can.
Well, and you're part of a group of a growing group of folks where so much, we're used to Hollywood, A-list celebrities. That is a manufactured human being. That's not who they really are. And there's a few shining examples of people, of Hollywood stars that are just people and just have human moments. But we're getting to a new form of kind of creator where they're not perfect. They are human. They're not put together at all times. And I think we are starting to kind of see in a good way, those cracks, those facades fall away, where it's like, if you want to be successful moving forward, you're not going to be able to manufacture and control your persona. You're going to have to be yourself. And if people like that, then that will succeed.
You're going to have to wear a big gold chain and tell the world who you really are.
I like that, like it keeps shining. I'm trying to not do these like huge star.
It's bling. It's literally
it's like I don't know
what it's supposed to do.
Good.
So one of the things which I love that you do, Corey, is your new. I guess it's not totally new now, but you've been doing it for a little while. But Silly Crocodile is entertaining kids all over the world and has blown up. And I would love to share a little bit of it, and then just talk about that for a second. So let me play a clip for a second here. Actually, I want to make sure I share sound. So
Corey, just so you know, there may be an echo while he's sharing sound. So
yeah, no worries.
Okay, here we are. Silly crocodile dropped 10 minutes ago. Halloween.
Oh no sound.
Well, I can provide a little bit though. Yeah, it's this was the kids at my school. They really wanted to see things change. They wanted a story about witches, but more than anything, they wanted a story about boogers. And so, with all the kids having runny noses and things, I wanted to provide them something that was fun and crazy and everything. So I introduced this witch character, which has been super fun. Yeah, all Unreal Engine, all inspired by the kids.
I was going to say, Corey, talk through just a little bit. So obviously, this is Unreal Engine, and you're doing, you're doing 100%, right? You're doing character design, modeling, texturing, animation, voices, music, everything. How did you go from VHS tapes to this? Like, where was your bridge moment where you went from a guy who couldn't afford a computer to one man showing an entire top quality animated kids show?
It's one step at a time. Every single time I make something, even today, I don't try to do everything all at once. I try to do one little thing better each time, and then I learn one little tiny new skill each time, and over time those one little skills end up being hundreds of skills and thousands of skills, because days keep going by, and you just learn. So like all this is years of skill stacking. Like I didn't go to school for Unreal Engine or 3D, or I can't draw worth a dang, so like this is just me continuing to try to be better than I was yesterday, every day.
When did you sort of begin to make a transition from live action, filming, talking to a camera, into making stuff with computers fully?
Yeah, so that was in 2019. I was creating content and I was doing a lot of, so it was kids content then, and I had one of my little crocodile characters here. I just had him going back and forth in my daughter's Peppa Pig toy house thing, and it was fun. She loved it, and the kids around the world seemed to love it, and it started getting traction. And I was like, man, this is fun, but this is taking too long. I was like, I love keyframing and all this, but God, is there a way? And so I thought, what if I could like just go into VR, because I love VR. And I was like, what if I go into VR and then I just grab the crocodile in VR and move it around, because there's template projects that you can make in Unity and Unreal Engine. And that was like the gateway drug for me. As soon as I got in there and I was able to move stuff around, it's like, cool, what else can I do? And then what else could I do? And every episode I was doing more and more until the pandemic hit, and I was like, okay, I want to do something bigger. I'm going to be stuck at home. I'm going to learn Unreal Engine, because I saw what was happening over there with Unreal Engine and cinema, and how it was really focused on that. And so I, switched from Unity over to Unreal, and yeah, that was it, man. I mean, just one thing at a time. My first project in Unreal was remaking my house. I took, learned how to use Blender to be able to do photogrammetry and
it's awesome,
all that stuff, and just redid my house. And it looks terrible now. I look back at that, I'm like, ugh, but I'll look back at this video and I'll think the same thing in 2-3 years. But yeah, it's just that was it. That was the beginning of it.
And you're pumping these out. You were saying every couple of weeks you're doing these.
Yeah.
This level of animation at this.
Well, this level of animation is not necessarily about the weeks. The story takes longer sometimes. Like I'm focusing a little bit more on the storytelling aspect. I'm looking for inspiration. I'm also doing other things outside of, creating content, speaking and traveling and being with family. So I saw an issue there. Anyway, it happens, and it's okay. So like YouTube, I'm like, whatever, but when it goes to streaming services, then I just clean it up, and it's not a big deal. But anyway, so like yeah, it's sorry, I got sidetracked there.
I was like, it's never done, it's just finished.
Yeah,
never done, it's just finished. Yeah,
it's fine.
Oh, that's go ahead, Ted.
Oh, I remember. Sorry, it was the speed like this. I started working on it on Monday, and then today's Friday, and I put it out. So like
you did a 7-minute animation all by yourself in 4 days realistically.
Yeah, I mean, I can make them in real time. Like these, I can set it up and then just roll with it and have it done in real time. Like I make cameos for children, and I'll get people. They're like, hey, I want this in 24 hours. All right, cool. I snap it together and then there it is, and it's the same quality production wise.
So you've got your own personal pipeline really nailed down.
Yeah, it's a pipeline that I created. That's, I mean, it's not like I totally reinvented the wheel. I just made the wheel work better for me. That's all it was, and that's all this is. It's just simple shapes, simple characters, and it's nice because they're 2.5D. I don't have to worry about which way are they facing. They're facing right or left, and sometimes they can do quarter, but either way, you only see one side. And so that saves me so much for lighting. Like, look at my rim lighting, like that's really easy. I always have good rim lighting because of the character type, so it's choosing a smart route of how do I do a character that can move quickly and allow me to create quickly.
I like how you lean into that, and with the legs, kind of just the color change is how you see them moving.
It's just a material swap. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Super cool. So you've had a really interesting journey with this IP, with your creation with Silly Crocodile. What's it been like going through that? I know you had a moment that you've publicly talked about as well, where you were offered a big amount of money to take it to a channel. What's it been like?
Wild. The last year has been a game changer for me. It's like I've been doing this now full time for a while, but the last year, I don't know what it is, what's really got the traction. But yeah, I mean, I'm getting people now that are wanting to invest, getting people who are wanting to do that sort of stuff. But it's also scary because when people are wanting to invest, they're wanting something back, and oftentimes it is not favorable. And so it's a little nerve-wracking. At the same time, I'm in a situation where it's just like YouTube money is either really high or it's in the ground. And a lot of people are like, dude, you shouldn't talk about that stuff. You shouldn't, say out loud what all that is. And I'm like, why not? And they're like, it's just bad business. I'm like, for me or you? Like, if I'm talking about my struggles and somebody else is doing the same sort of thing, and they're like, don't talk about the money. Are they worried that people are going to know the truth? And for me, it's always been about the truth. I just want to share what it is that I'm doing, because I don't have anything to gain if I'm trying to, I don't know. I like what else? What's the point of anything else? My whole point is I want to tell stories that make kids laugh, that teach them good things, and inspire other creators to create from the heart as well. If I have success, I want to share it. If I have a fall, I want to show how you can maintain through the fall. So
it's really important. I think it's definitely inspiring to me, and I'm sure many people, to hear about what's really going on and not just presenting the problem with social media a lot has been that everyone presents their best self and not them when they're going through their troubles. But you're very you're like going back to the striptease show now. You're just getting the beard off.
It's hot. It's so hot.
You're slowly turning into Santa.
Serious folks. Oh, it's Corey Williams.
I still got the hat. I still got the hat.
The hat. Yeah, rock the hat. There we go.
All right, that's weird though, but whatever.
There you have it.
I was cooking.
What was the moment like? Tell us about the moment, because you were offered $5 million for this, and I know I've talked to you about that before, but what's that like, to make that decision to say no to that?
Surprisingly, it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, just because I knew what was involved, right? So briefly, it wasn't just like, okay, here's $5 million, we're going to take the IP, adios, you have a good life, no. It was like, the $5 million is, okay, this is going to be paid to you over a certain period of time. You are going to be doing all of this work for us. You are going to be integrating all of these other IPs into your brand, and you're going to help to grow those IPs to be something. So basically, Silly Crocodile was just a springboard. And and the way that it was going about, I didn't believe in the characters they had. And I can say that, I'm not gonna say who, but they understand because I've explained this. So, but it's like, they have their own success that I hope they find, but it doesn't feed my story. It doesn't feed my why. It like, if I did do that, okay, sure, yeah, I would have 5 million over that period of time, but would I die feeling like I did it right? I don't
Right.
think so. You know, like, the fact that, like, when I go to our school, and I say our school, it's my kids' school. I volunteer there a lot. They call me Silly Crocodile. That is my name to them. I am like
Right.
the guy at school. I get all the hugs, all the love, and it's just the best, right? If I were to sell that and to do what that company wanted to do, how would those kids feel? How would I feel walking through those halls? How would I feel about the future of what I could do because of what my heart is asking of me? And how would I feel after? I mean, it's $5 million is a life-changing amount of money. And sure, I could have invested into other things, but I also would have been busy, and I probably would have been burnt out. I probably would have been demotivated. And so the feelings that I get now are priceless. Like, do I need more money to do stuff? Yes, absolutely. I don't want to be by myself all the time. I don't want to, like, be a one-man show. Like, I would love to hire. I would love to do all this, but
Right.
it's this weird. I'm having growing pains right now because I've only ever been this. I've only
Right.
ever worked for myself. I worked for Taiyaki Studios for just a smidgen of time, but I want to grow this. And so all I'm doing right now is I'm all ears, and I'm sharing how I feel. I'm sharing where I'm at. And I'm just taking in every bit of information that I can. And just like I was saying with how do I, become good at the stuff that I do here, it's one little skill at a time. So business wise, I'm making one decision at a time, and I'm understanding why should I make that, and what is that going to do to help me. I learn from mistakes, I learn from successes, and that's where I'm at. So yeah, that's a lot. I guess a longer answer.
No,
to that,
no.
but
That's great.
That actually answers the question I was going to say, which was, you've got folks coming to you with investment, and is there anything that that they're offering that you'd be interested in? And that makes sense. Like, you scaling yourself basically is what you want to do. And
yeah.
do you anticipate that you're going to kind of essentially scale naturally to that, or is it interesting to you to kind of try to get an infusion and bump up quickly?
Well, I've got from here's the estimates that I have from Epic Story Media, who I'm working with now, it's a great team of people who are getting my content out to streamers, and they're doing brand stuff. All this, there's that problem again. Only I see it though. Anyway,
it's okay.
It's okay.
I get it.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, but no. Dang it, I lost it.
They were helping you with getting the brand out, and the
yeah. So
working with Elevate.
So after working with them, understanding where they're going, how they're reaching success, and understanding all of that, and then also speaking with other amazing creators from around the world who've created some of the world's top shows, I've been told that where I'm at right now is going to pay off, and I'm going to have that big success in about 1.5 years. So all I have to do right now is survive 1.5 years, which I'm fine. I'll survive. It's not like I'm hurting. And that's it. Just keep going. Just keep creating. And even if it doesn't happen in 1.5 years, well, then I'm going to have a whole bunch of really great Silly Crocodile videos that, regardless of what I made from them, are going to still make a large impact on those tens of millions of children who watch me every month. And that's something that that's so good.
That's huge.
Yeah, I can tell that you're definitely, that's your reason for getting up in the morning, is to do it for that. And obviously turning down $5 million to pursue that is a real show of that. It's a real commitment to why you're doing it. And I think that's very inspiring.
It was easy. It was a very easy decision. The only time it made it hard was when people made it hard. When I'd shared that it happened, and it was in passing. I don't even remember how I shared it exactly, but I said it, and then I was like, "Oh, people, whoa!" But it was like the only thing that makes it hard is when people are like, "Here's what you should have done. Here are the business things you could have achieved, and here's what you could have did." And in my head, I just have to, like, focus in on, okay, what's my truth and what do I need, and then I go, "This is what you need." But that's not what I need. And that's okay.
You're an artist, Corey. That's what
Yeah.
artists do. Artists create because they want to and because they have to,
Mhm.
not financial follows.
Yeah.
But artists create because they want to, and it's really interesting watching this world evolve and more people being able to be creators. And you've inspired a lot of them to do it, I'm sure. But watching it become easier to do or more possible to do, but also watching companies wanting to leverage it as you experienced and as other big companies are experiencing. What would you advise to somebody who's starting out as wanting to do something similar, wanting to be an independent creator? What would be your best advice where to start?
Start small. I tell people to find the creators that they like the most, that they would love to be like, and don't be afraid to mimic them. Don't steal from them, but try to do what they do and see how it feels on you. And then think about other creators that you like and take little pieces of this. I love this analogy I use. So I imagine this as balls of clay, right? Different colors of Play-Doh. And so, like, imagine your inspiration comes from, okay, I like this creator, here's a color of red. Or I like this creator, there's a color of blue. This creator does this thing that I like, and da da da. After a while, you're pulling all these inspirations from different things that you've seen, and you've got different lessons. And once you start putting all those different balls of inspiration together, that ball becomes unique. There's a uniqueness to it. And then once you start to understand what that uniqueness is, you'll actually notice that inside of you, there is a color as well that starts to match what that is. And then you start pulling from here. And that's where the real good stuff comes out. When you start pulling from your heart and adding to that, to the point where, like, this color is you and is everything that is unique about you. Like, my stuff is very inspired by many other things. This episode here in particular is inspired by Bubble Guppies and the way that they tell stories, but not one story in particular, but rather how they structured it. And I like that. It's also inspired by Beavis and Butthead. There's that part again. By Beavis and Butthead, where, like, the silly crocodile, he talks like this. But now listen to this. It's the same thing. It's Butthead. Hey, shut up. Yeah. You know, it's the same. But that's exactly right. So it's a mix of, I mean, you got Bubble Guppies, you've got that, and then you've got all these other things that I mean, I could just tell you, but that's what makes this. But now it's none of those things. Now it's my heart. Now it's how I feel. Now it's when I go to school and I'm just living through those experiences that I have with the kids, telling stories and all of that. And and that's
so
cool. How you start, though. You start little. You take inspiration and use it, and then you find your way.
It's important to hear, because I think a lot of people imagine you have to start here, where it's completely this level and everything's original. The Rolling Stones were basically a cover band for a while. They kept being that way, in some ways, but they started playing other people's tunes. Same deal.
Let me tell you something about people who use Unreal Engine too, by the way. This is one thing in our community that I've seen a lot, and I continue to witness. When people are coming in to use Unreal Engine, they're seeing people like Corey Strasberger, well, not so much anymore because he hasn't been putting out anything, but like these other really great creators who've just been doing it at a good high level. And they're like, that's what I want to do. And then they sit in the engine and then they try to do everything all at once. Or they'll take this massive tutorial that teaches them how to do everything they don't need to know. And then they go, oh my gosh, and they become overwhelmed. What I like to tell people when they first get into this is just the same as how do you start out with telling stories, one thing at a time. Hey, start up a project and just move some mountains around, move some trees, do some basic things. Okay, great. Now open up third person project and just run around the world. Now, don't worry about what that character is doing and how he's moving yet. Tell a story that's narrative. Like, I just, and then he ran over here to see what was behind this mountain. Oh, interesting. Until you go, okay, I want to learn how I can make a character right here. Just do this one little thing, a little blob, like in here, there's a blob character that just goes up and down. I mean, I didn't have to reinvent the wheel to get that in there. Anyway, yeah, that's
so start
the big thing is start very simple and always only go one thing at a time, and don't overwhelm yourself. Take it slow, because the most successful people in this space, I think, are the ones who slow it down a little bit.
Thank you for sharing. And we are going to move on to our next section, which is news of the week.
Spooky news. Dun, 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 dun. It's jazzy. Spooky news. Da, 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 da. It's the news. Da,
It's
da, da.
amazing. I can't wait for that budget. It's coming.
I think it's actually a good segue to talk about composure in Unreal as one of our first items. Speaking of Unreal,
Yeah, with that, I have not tried it yet, but I've seen news that Composure's got a bit of an update. And Composure, to anyone who doesn't know, out there is a way of compositing using Unreal Engine, so you can put your CG over a live action background or composite CG and live action
Nice.
together. It's always very, very fiddly with the old Composure, but it seems like they've created some updates in 5.7, so you can go and download the new 5.7, which is in preview, and go check it out. And that's all I had to say about that because I haven't tried it.
Corey, are you rendering out and sort of going into more traditional editing and compositing to finish, or are you going straight out of Engine?
No, it's straight out of Engine. It just
Straight
depends
out
though
of
too. Like if I'm doing a collaboration with somebody, sorry, I got to get back in the normal, man. Because after a while, I'm like, dude, I picked this wizard and he's just got this big old robe on and my heater just kicked on. I had to like turn my heater off. No, it depends. If I'm doing something that's taking Silly Crocodile into the live world, then I'll do the compositing deals, But
Right.
no, it's all just straight out of Engine and created
That's
quickly
awesome.
for the most part.
I mean, it looks beautiful. There's no reason. That's like Flow went straight out of Eevee. There was no compositing.
Yeah,
I know
in
that's
Flow,
wild.
which is just amazing.
Which, to that point, Blender 5 is in beta.
It's
and
good.
There is a new Eevee Next, I think is the
Eevee
name.
Next.
And it's supposed to be better and more functional and faster and all the things. So that Academy Award-winning movie was made in Eevee, not in Cycles. It was made in real time.
There's I'm nerdy. I've got a couple Crusades. Color management is one of my big deals, and they are properly rolling OCIO into Blender 5 and properly color managing so that when you say it's this, it's that, instead of where now it's kind of everything sort of out of Blender's quasi-ish, sort of, kind of in a color gamut, but looks good on my screen is kind of how Blender has been. But now hopefully it's going to be a lot more professional. And on that OCIO front, I was at Adobe Max all week. And for those that don't know Adobe Max, Adobe's one of the few companies in our industry that does sort of a full-blown conference. Autodesk does their own as well, and they're really interesting conferences to go to because it's most conferences is an entire industry, and to go to a conference with like 10,000 people focused on one product is fascinating. The thing that I don't have a link to because I don't think that the session may have been recorded, but it's not online anywhere yet, is a really exciting thing that the Photoshop team is doing, and they got in bed with Sony Animation, as well as ImageWorks, the VFX company. Photoshop is getting OCIO, so Photoshop is getting correct color management for the first time in how many years since they started? 30 years, 40 years. So it's not just getting OCIO, which means you can import ACEs, EXRs. It is getting multi-layer EXR support, which I believe is in the public beta now. OCIO is in there, and also getting proper HDR workflows, which they demonstrated. And I couldn't be happier about it because Photoshop has been this sort of quiet problem in this regard for a long time in professional workflows, where you have to kind of hobble your workflow to get in and out of a lot of Adobe products. And so seeing them get serious about it and actually do it well and demonstrate it was I saw it yesterday, so can't say enough good things about that. And then I wanted to quickly share a couple of sneaks from Adobe Max. So Adobe does something really kind of cool, which is they share their R&D projects that are a year to 2 years out, if ever. And it's very rare for the things in sneaks to show up in products quickly or as shown. So for a company, that large with that many users is pretty brave thing to do and pretty kind of exciting. So I just wanted to really quickly share a couple of these ones, which are really kind of cool. There it is, sharing. So they have a couple of things they showed. I've muted them just to be able to talk over them. They showed off some kind of all the user interfaces in the sneaks are not real products, so they're all familiar but not quite. So it's kind of this Premiere thing. So this is CleanTake. They had a I'll see if I can unmute and if the audio works, but they had a bunch of sample clips, and they're showing cleaning up the audio. I'm going to unmute this and see if this audio comes through. So does that coming through for you guys?
Nope.
No? Okay. Didn't think so. All right. So anyway, it breaks the audio down into stems and allows you to manipulate those stems in a recorded video. So
from a single audio track, it'll split.
Yes.
Wow.
And so this demonstration, I'll post links in the chat so people can watch this video. But this guy's talking while a drawbridge is going off, and it's going ding, 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 ding. Just literally just muted the stem, and it just disappears. And there's a bunch of other examples of. There's a scene later on in the sneak. These are all 10-minute videos. I'm not going to play them. But there's a scene in a gym where there's a copyrighted song in the background. Stem separated out and found a sound alike from Adobe stock and replaced the song. So not just muting it. So this one was really cool to see them kind of thinking about, because they've already got some really great tools in Premiere for isolating background noise and cleaning up audio and all kinds of stuff. But this is showing that they're really heading towards sort of stem separating all audio while transcribing it. This same project they showed earlier on in this video over here, not just text editing audio, which you can do in Premiere already, but actually changing intonation, essentially voice cloning using AI, and then using that voice clone to change the words. So they changed a couple words that she said, and it's perfectly lip synced. It's her voice because it's cloned. Super cool. The new depths was as soon as it started, I saw this stuff up here, up in the clouds, and I was like, oh, it's a splat. Adobe's doing Gaussian splats. Awesome. Cool. So they're combining splats. We've seen that before, whatever. Then
What's
they started.
Is that in a web?
These are all custom UIs. These are all R&D projects. So none of this is shipping, but it's a splat viewer, which is cool. But there's, I'm going to kind of skip forward here a little bit. They have they have the best splat editing tools I've seen anyone demonstrate. Lasso selections, color range tools. They change the color of stuff. So this is just changing the hue of something in a splat. And then here's cloning. So just selecting a bunch of splats, cloning them, moving them over. And then changing those splats is hue. So like Photoshop editing splats, basically.
3D Photoshop. Yeah.
Man,
3D
that's
Photoshop.
crazy. Have you seen what's been announced with Final Cut Pro?
No.
Tell us.
Yeah, neither have I. It's been 10 years.
I was like, we should talk about that. Final Cut 8, it's coming back. Everyone, it's like a fairy. You just gotta clap. Final Cut 8 is coming back. And then the final one, this was 2 projects being shown off at the same time. So they had this other project that basically doesn't just do object removal. It looks for reflections of that object and removes it. So first he's here in Photoshop using this this tool. Like the selection tools have become disgusting in Photoshop, just amazing.
Yeah.
You just hover over and it's insane. So trace erase, watch this reflection down at the bottom. Trace Erase is the Photoshop tool that basically it's like a smart fill, but so she just full on disappears. That's not the point of this video. Everyone's clapping, and he's like, no, you just saw that. That's not. I'm not showing Trace Erase. What it does is it basically propagates those edits to that image across the video. So what it's doing right now is regenerating the entire video with that photoshopped frame as the guide of what it should do. And so it's about to basically full on remove that girl, reflections, everything, the water's moving. Super cool. I'm sure if you zoom in, there's all kinds of AI slop malarkey happening. This one was absolutely insane. Just remove the, let me not skip the result. Kept the drone shadow, removed the car and the smoke. Again, I'm sure if you zoom in, this one added a cat reflection.
Cool.
This one just like crazy Photoshop job, and this was actually them showing sort of like a traditional Photoshop job, but then applying that across the video.
And is that going through like Firefly models or partner models or a mix of?
They don't talk a lot. Yeah, they don't talk a lot about the guts. They really keep during the sneaks. They really just try and keep the focus on the tech they're showing. They showed a bunch of other really interesting stuff. Taking a 2D image in Photoshop, and it basically does image to 3D and generates a 3D version of it, so that you can repose it. Change the angle, match it, but then it regenerates the 2D image. So it goes image to image using the 3D as like a control, and so it creates sort of a new version of the 2D image. So it's a way of kind of like manipulating 2D using a 3D sort of intermediary. Super cool stuff.
It seems like they're going for the platform thing as opposed to really focusing on Firefly, the model, like really focusing on just it being an ecosystem that you can work in and do what you want.
Totally.
Anything else catch your eye from Max?
That was the big ones. That was the big stuff. That was definitely the focus of Max is definitely the sneaks, and I'm just nerdy about color, so I was just very excited.
That's so cool, man. Thanks for sharing that. That was like, I'm watching that going, yes, this is so, like, just knowing.
I know. We're here.
Use. Yeah. Because I know, like, right now, a lot of people are, using a lot of, AI tools that are just like fully create everything in a prompt. Whereas those are the tools that we're using to make what we've already made better. And that's that's what's really great and important.
Which has been kind of possible for a while, but just extraordinarily prohibitively expensive or skill set wise, just what compositors have done for a really long time, which you can do if you've got months to work on that, painting out that car. It was doable, but extremely hard. Now it's back to the democratizing part again. I guess we're democratizing or widening the access to visual effects, which is where we've built our careers doing visual effects. And originally visual effects was you could only do it if you went to ILM, and then it became still expensive and hard to do, but more accessible. Now it's becoming really, really accessible, and I think it's cool because it's just welcoming more and more people in, as you said, Corey, to be able to do what you want to something, and that's augmenting your storytelling.
Yeah,
super 100%. Cool stuff.
Yeah, no, really, really excited to. I will say one thing about it's Adobe, and it's also a comment about Affinity. If anyone had seen the news about Affinity over the last 24 hours, the Adobe's user base and Serif's user base, Affinity, are some of the ones that are sort of the most angst-filled about AI. It's designers, it's traditional designers who are really worried about Mid-Journey. It's a lot of content creators that are really worried about sort of Sora and all video generation. It's been interesting. I've done Max. This was my fourth Max, but my third in a row. So I did 23, 24, 25, and the tone of that user base, as well as how Adobe and Serif have been managing sort of their attempts to survive as a company while dealing with a user base that is really, really anti-AI, has been fascinating to watch. Where in 23 it was very toxic. It was like you say the word AI and you get shivved. It was really, it was a very toxic environment. And I was there as somebody using AI, talking about AI, and it was like I wanted to get protection. 24 was really interesting, where those same people were still very aggressively anti-AI, but especially during the sneaks, Adobe, they didn't say AI, they didn't say model, they didn't say train, but they were 100% AI tools. And everyone was cheering, and I felt like I was like totally taking crazy pills, where like I was in this, environment where people were very specific, about almost cult-like about being anti-AI, applauding AI. And this year, I think there was kind of like, it felt right. It felt like the artists were, the sneaks was 100% AI. Adobe was being trained and model, and we did this, and and the AI does that. There was a recognition of what everyone was saying in 23, which was it's just a tool. It's not going to replace you. It's just going to take care of menial tasks you don't like doing. And now you see the artists hearing that message and embracing that message and getting really excited about that message. So 25 has really been interesting. And Serif, the makers of Affinity, they got acquired by Canva. For last month, they've been talking about, like big change is coming, future is coming. And they effectively killed all of their existing apps over the last month. Like they shut down all the training videos, or removed them. They shut down the ability to purchase the products. They basically just made everything free. Everyone's been freaking out. And yesterday they released their sort of announcement of what they're doing, which is they took their 3 apps and combined them into one app, new file format, which means all the old apps will no longer work. So they've effectively killed their previous products. And now it's this kind of unified app, and it's going to be great. And it's totally free. It's free for everyone, for all uses, in perpetuity. So like, yay. How are you making money? The way they're going to make money, AI, which is fascinating because they've been very anti-AI. So there is now a pro subscription model where you get AI and you can use, generative AI as well as AI tools. So it's fascinating.
So it's kind of like Resolve,
2 companies.
Kind of like Resolve, where it's free, but if you want the fancy stuff, to pay $300.
Yeah. And it's been fascinating watching those two communities of artists, as well as the 2 companies that they're sort of borderline dependent on, navigating this transition into AI. And I think there's been a lot of kind of missteps and sort of like disingenuous statements made all over the place. But I think in 25 we're starting to get into this, like, now the folks that have been very anti-AI are being like, it's really bad at the things I'm good at, but it's really useful, as a tool. And folks like myself, all of us are like, yes, yes, this is what we've been saying. So it feels good. I think we're entering into a, like, okay, let's actually put these jetpacks on and see how far we can fly. And I think, that's a good place to be, because now we're going to start seeing people with talent, with things to say, with taste, are now putting the jetpacks on. And now we're going to start seeing some really crazy stuff.
I think one of the things that we have to be careful of, in terms of like culture and like right now we're in the tech culture. I'll just say tech culture. That's maybe the wrong term, new culture. But,
no, that's right.
But it's like the term metaverse. Remember how metaverse was thrown around like crazy, and all this stuff, and people spent all this money and ended up just tanking. And it was like, but what was metaverse? It was like so many things. People were tying in NFTs to metaverse, and virtual worlds, and virtual shopping, and virtual characters, and VR, and all that. And then they even started spilling into video games. Well, it's been a metaverse forever. And there was all this. But the problem that I feel is that we didn't have a clear enough descriptive word to describe the different parts of what it was. It was just one giant word. Just like AI right now, we're using AI, and there are still people that are like, they hear AI and they go, ugh. But it's not for the same reasons that you love AI. It's for the bad reasons, but because there's no word of separation. And so we
Totally.
have this disconnect with our language and how we
Yes.
use it. And I wish we could figure out a way to change our language to be able to say this type of AI instead
Yeah.
of in general.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. It is like it's this catch-all that's catching both good and bad and just rolling them up together. I've been a big advocate of just using machine learning because artificial intelligence immediately you go to intelligent, and none of this stuff is
It
intelligent.
has none.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so it's a misnomer from the get-go, but it is. I think everyone's kind of starting to come to grips with it, and they are realizing. Yeah, there's many people are going to lose their livelihoods, and a lot of those livelihoods are kind of mechanical Turk. They're humans doing, roto shouldn't be a job like that.
Right.
That just shouldn't be a job, and that's going to go away, and there are many things like that.
Well, let's take a look at a little bit more. I've got a couple of things to show here in the 3D space, which is where I spent most of my career in visual effects, has been in the 3D realm. So here we have an example of a 3D generated model from a single image. And there's a turntable. I'm just going to play it while I talk about it. This was created in a thing called Hitem 3D, which uses Spark 3D technology. I don't know if I can get it to loop, but this model's 1.5 million polys. It's created from a single image and textured and created a PBR shader. And when I ran it through Spark, I actually got even more detail than this. But Hitem, which uses Spark, still crazy amounts of detail and all the tubes. And
what blows me away about all of these image to 3D models is that it gets the backside. Like it's clearly been trained. It's clearly been trained on a lot of data, but the fact that it is willing to come up with a coherent backside that's outside of view is the most nuts.
Yeah, no, it's wild. It's like right, you can see in the middle where it sort of tries to do what's on the back, and I thought it's just doing symmetry, but it turns out it's not entirely symmetrical, and it's like there was where it's sort of almost symmetrical on the side there. But yeah, it's crazy, so much detail. Another one I got here was from this image, which was actually a prompted image in the first place. Made a transformer from an existing car and then turned it into this model, which again, from a single image, has a back. I got tons of notes for sure from my, from my issues with it. And it's also, pointing towards where it has progressed. I actually took this a little further and chucked this into Blender here. And this is actually Blender in its compositor, actually compositing with a shadow catcher at the bottom. And there's the Raptor engine and the transformer.
Nice.
They're both embedded in here. This is just in Blender. So being able to, zoom around here, we can take a look around it. We can switch into Eevee and probably freeze the entire show. But take a, there we go.
Wow. Yeah.
So
I'm super excited about this kind of stuff for gray boxing, where you're just kind of like trying to just figure out what you want in an environment. You sort of like, I kind of want a chair over here, and it doesn't matter much about that chair, but like ideating in 3D is actually can be very slow if you've got a lot of assets you either have to go find on a marketplace somewhere or, God forbid, make. So I'm super excited about this kind of stuff.
It's pretty cool. For the same kind of reasons, I think. And I'm showing it here in Houdini. And in this case, what we've got in Houdini is the same thing. So this is this turned those assets, which were made in Hitem in GLTF, turned them into USD. This is actually running in USD inside Houdini. Again, running through a compositor inside Houdini. So it's compositing in real time because it now has a really fast, great compositing context in here in 21 and a couple of versions before. But with this, we've got Karma XPU, which is rendering in the viewport and then compositing over the background. And I actually have a little animation here. I'm not going to play it through. I'm just kind of scrubbing it through here to show this character was also thrown through mixer mode just to get a really quick, easy rig. If I can, let me pop out here and show that out in this context here. But there we have our robot creature. Again, lots and lots of notes on where the rig doesn't meet my standards. But
Sure.
you know, for
As a
still for
test.
something quick and dirty,
It's insane
from a
for quick and
from a
dirty.
still picture through a couple of tools to being able to do that.
Corey, are you using like Rococo or mocap suits, or do you puppet with game controllers, right?
Yeah, I just use a game controller. A game controller on my iPhone is my whole thing.
Amazing.
Yeah, I was using
It's
XNs for a long time, and I really enjoyed XNs. But the problem is with XNs and just humanoids in general, is I'm not using humanoids for my projects. So I'm like, why spend the money to do all of that and to keep up with that if I'm not using it? And so that's the only reason. But I miss doing full body mocap. That was, I mean, I feel like that was another one of my callings. I got really good at it, and I still have a ton of mocap gear, but it's just collecting dust now.
Yeah.
But not because it's bad, but again because my show doesn't require it.
Yeah. Only do what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Well, I got through most of my 3D shares that I wanted to. Another short piece of news along the lines of mergers is Weavy, which we showed last week, which is a workflow tool for working with image manipulation, including AI, but also some basic forms of image processing as well, and some not so basic ones. Weavy is a year old. An Israeli company is a year old, grew up around people wanting to be able to control AI more and have workflow around it and be able to collaborate. And it just got bought and merged with Figma, which is another big design company. We've used Figma quite a bit for design, and they have a great whiteboard, and they just acquired Weavy. So that happened in the last couple of days. So I would expect to see some interesting things happen after that.
That goes back to the point we had last week, which was the more these tools end up in creator friendly tools, not even workflows, just creator friendly tools, the more we're going to see creators that don't have huge backgrounds in visual effects or computer science or these other things having the ability to access them and start doing the fact that you could just pump an image in and get a not just get a video out, but get a full 3D model out and then just apply some mocap to it. Like sure you have notes, but there's many people that wouldn't even get to that stage without these tools. They would just have ideas in their heads and just bother their friends with with telling them about what they would do if they could.
Yeah, no, I think it's you can use in Weavy, you can use 3D in here, you can make 3D, you can use Hunyuan and some of the other models. I got a real quick share here, and then I think we're at the end of show. But this one I made used the robot, posed the robot in Unreal, which is the Unreal viewport on the left here, and then somebody's made a plugin for Unreal here on the right. And you can actually, so you can pose your character and keep it the same, but then make a completely different background in the background there. I did another one with the Raptor model.
Atlas?
Yeah.
Wow.
Is it Atlas or Atlix? I don't know how to say it.
You mean the model or the plugin?
No, the plugin.
Oh, this one is called ViewGen.
Oh, ViewGen. Okay. Yeah, there's no one's gonna like that. Okay.
Yeah. There's a few of them popping up. I really like this one because it just gives you a really simple window. You can compose the shot on the left, and this one I put the obviously 3D prompted or 3D generated from image, then taking it back into 3D so you can compose, and then taking that further. And it's cool for some concept art and concepting. But you push these things further, and we'll see what we can do.
So I've got a quick video to close us out and bookend the theme of really weird mobility devices. You ready for this?
I don't know.
I don't think anyone could be ready for this, given what we just saw with 8 wheels. So what about an ATV? That's just
Dog.
4 legs. So this is the future of motorcycles.
I mean, I would think that's cooler than the other thing.
It's cooler.
Yeah.
Except, that right there, that no.
That's death.
It just looks like you got to hold on differently.
It's a horse.
It's a horse.
You know, like they've finally invented the horse.
Yeah.
We finally, it's like Musk wanted to give somebody a multi-million-dollar prize if they could find a way to pull carbon dioxide out of the air and sequester it somehow. And trees. He wants to invent trees.
Look how this guy is looking all sporty riding that thing. It just feels weird. And my brain's like, dude, just walk. You look good and healthy. Like don't turn this into Wall-E where everybody's just like in their little chairs. And was this Kawasaki?
It's Kawasaki. Yeah, it's Kawasaki, and they do have a functional this.
Does it actually work? Because I don't know these are all AI or CG.
No, I'm sure.
Or
No, I mean they
at first it did not say Kawasaki. It was like Kiwakwako or something.
I mean,
like go back a little bit. That's the AI generation.
That's what they've got. It is Kawasaki, but yeah, the AI generated video definitely said like.
So this is real.
It's real.
This one is real.
Okay, listen. Here's what I think should happen. This is the new generation of the coin machine ride for kids. Put a coin in, and it actually goes somewhere. It doesn't just like, hey, have your kid like go run around the field and strap in, kid.
With this one, you have to enter your insurance details before you put them.
Oh yeah, it's the waiver on this thing.
Oh
it looks like it would break your legs.
And in the snow, no. I lived in Alaska for 3 years. I know that thing would die in a minute.
Yeah, no, this is fantasy, but I do I do appreciate that everyone's trying to figure out new and better ways for us to not have to use our own legs.
Yeah, that's AI right there. You see that badly written the logo there? That was funny.
So good.
Anyway,
so good.
But
anyway,
it's half impressive. I would still want to write it.
Yeah, no, I would.
I haven't written a Segway, so.
It's amazing. Oh, they are a lot of fun. You can rent them for like 15 minutes and have a go.
I know enough people with pretty serious injuries from just scooters that it makes me really hesitant at 45 years old to get anywhere near that.
So it's a maybe on the robot dog, hell no on the 18-wheel weird caterpillar thing.
Yeah. I think that's good. Well,
it's been
learned a lot.
It has been a very fun show. We've all learned things. Corey, thank you so much for being a guest today.
Yeah,
it's always fun to hang out with you. And yeah, we have a short announcement at the end. We have our AI for Filmmakers course coming up. And we also have a webinar about that, which is on November the 4th. You can sign up, come and join us. We'll go through all of this stuff and show you in more depth. If you do nothing else, come along and learn something. But we also do have a course. I'm teaching it, and that's going to take us through the rest of this year. So if you're interested, sign up. Even if you're not interested, sign up anyway. Why not? It's free. We would love to see you there. I hope you've enjoyed today. Tell us what you think of the show. We'd love to hear about it. And we look forward to seeing you all again on the next episode. Stay informed, learn about all of this stuff. The world's moving at a crazy pace. Be curious, enjoy it, have fun with it, create things with it. We'll see you soon. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye for now.